What in the goddamn?
Welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by Zack Finfrock. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing splendid. So I don't mean to geek out, but I've been a fan of your work for a very long time.
I have been on the internet for a minute now.
Well, oddly enough, because you know, a lot of people associate you specifically with the Nuka Break series and Nuka Breaking that's coming out soon.
hmm
But I found you through your prop building channel.
Backyard FX.
Oh yes. I've,
Yeah, like I said,
I've,
I've been on the internet for a minute.
so what kind of pushed you towards getting onto YouTube? Was it the filmmaking aspect of it, or was it the like the YouTube aspect of it, or should I say, did you want to make movies beforehand or videos?
I just wanted to make things, is the easiest answer. I moved to LA in 2008 to make things with my friends. YouTube was just the easiest place to put them. And obviously we had to cater to the format and the algorithms that is and was for, YouTube at the time. But it really just came out of wanting to make things, period.
So where did like sort of the lean towards, I'm like, of course it's not all Fallout based content, but with Nuka Break, like where did the concept for that begin? Like where did production start?
It just started because I really
Oh, you cut out. I can't hear you no more.
still see my stuff lighting up.
Oh,
All seems good on my end, boss.
strange. Is it for, right when you started your explanation? It went robot for a second and then just cut out.
Interesting. Well, I'm hardwired as well, so I'm not even on Wi-Fi at the moment. Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I'll just start again. So, it all started with just my love of Fallout 3. I absolutely loved how Bethesda brought Fallout universe into a first person or third person RPG, and I became obsessed. And so I started writing a fan film that took place on the West Coast, and this was before New Vegas came out. I started writing. We had a pretty solid story, but I wanted to be as canon as possible to the Fallout universe. So I got my way to E3 in 2010, which I believe it's 2000. Year Obsidian and Bethesda were debuting New Vegas at the show. They had a big New Vegas sign. They had a big Novak dinosaur there. It was crazy. It was great. And when I went there, I went up to one of the people working at the booth, and I just said, "Hey, I want somebody who's working the game because I'm making a fan film and I want to make it as canon as possible." I just had a couple questions. Not that I'm looking for spoilers on New Vegas, but I just want to make sure what I interfere with anything you're doing. And the guy was just like, "Yeah, Chris." And I was like, "Okay." And for me, I'm just like, "A guy named Chris, cool." And then Outlaw Alone, who, Fallout fans will know as one of the main key individuals behind Fallout, very specifically. And he also worked, obviously, a lot on New Vegas. And he was really cool. He liked the idea I was doing and wanted to do, and he was all right there and giving me a couple things I had to alter, like the vault number and things. And then I emailed him the script. He gave me more notes based on what, not a whole lot, but enough for me to tweak to be sense. And that was it. And when we just did our little fan film for 2 grand desert, filmed it over a weekend. Um, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess.
So as your projects move into the future, with Nuka Breaking, so what's the over under on all of us seeing you in Fallout Season 2?
Oh, I have no idea. Very, very, very small chance. And I mean that genuinely. As much as I absolutely obviously would love to be connected in any way whatsoever, um, into the actual lore of a live action Fallout, um, I don't expect anything like that ever. Um, I guess weirder things have happened on the internet, so the chance is never absolutely zero. But I don't, by any means, have any inkling of my hopes, up for it or expecting anything like that. Um, what has happened recently with me drawing for Bethesda is, I think, the closest I'm ever going to get, which is fine with me.
What drawing work have you done for Bethesda thus far?
None at the moment, but I am in the process of beginning to do a freelance contract gig to officially draw Vault Boy for Fallout and Fallout 76.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. And are you unaware of what happened to me earlier this month in with my Vault Boy art?
I am unaware.
Okay. Well, here we
Enlighten
go.
me.
No worries, no worries. Earlier this month, somebody who is now, I'm being told, was a third party individual, so not somebody who worked at Bethesda, but a third
Mm.
party individual they contracted, plagiarized some Vault Boy art that I drew for some memes on Twitter
Oh
and
no.
used it in a Fallout 76 bundle art. Because they sell things in their microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it immediately, recognized it immediately, made a Twitter post about it. It got viral in the sense that a couple thousand people liked it and commented on it, being like, "Hey, this is kind of fucked up." And I also to already have been followed by and following, so we're mutuals, as well as we had already communicated a little bit in DMs with myself and Mr. Jonathan Rush, who is the creative director of Fallout 76.
Wow.
And I sent him that tweet and with the proof that, hey, look, this is very clearly my art. He was super cool and quick to remove it, fully acknowledging that that is the case of what happened. Um, and the story from their end is that my art was so official looking, it was mistaken as official and repurposed for this bundle art. Whether you think that's true or not, when you look at the context of the meme itself, it's very clear that that is not an official piece of art. The meme that the art was taken from.
I just I feel like that's a harsh excuse of like it was just too good. We
Well,
thought
I
it
mean,
was
here's the thing. I 100% believe it being some lower level artist who isn't paid enough to do what he's doing. So he's skipping, making,
some
cut
intern.
corners. I don't think it was an intern. I think it was a third party individual. But at the same time, this third party individual thought he'd get away with taking my art. Um, I don't know why he would expect somebody who says Fallout 76 is their favorite game to not notice that the art is being used. I don't like it, just shows, the person was lazy, in my opinion, and their laziness, I'm benefiting off of their laziness in the end, because it opened the conversation in the door for me to say, hey, I'd love to work with you guys directly. There's no point on you guys hiring somebody who's going to steal my art when I can make you art that is better. And I mean this genuinely. I say better as in, I always have had kind of a personal pet peeve about the art they used in their Atom shop. It seemed pretty simple, pretty bottom of the barrel, not very important to them, which is fine. It's they're selling $5, $10 things that, it's
Mhm.
digital asset. I get it. It's not a high priority, but it always felt um, copy paste photoshopped from older assets. And now I know that that is the case for sure, since they copied and pasted and photoshopped my drawing. Um, so yeah, in the end, I mean, it really is. This is a perfect example of luck meeting opportunity. Or sorry, luck meeting preparation. I was lucky enough to be in this weird situation with a guy plagiarizing my art, copying my art for an official paid for thing. And I was prepared enough to reach out and say, "Let me do it for you." And that's where I'm at now. I signed an NDA within a couple days, and contracts are currently being written up for what will be me doing a handful of pieces of art for them for their Fallout 76 future update stuff. Whether it goes past this initial offer of just a couple images and things like that, I have no idea. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think I'll impress them enough that they do want to come back and hire me for more future stuff. But even if it is just these few couple of images that I am drawing, it is me officially drawing Vault Boy for Bethesda for a Fallout game. So that is something that nobody could take away, which is great.
That's phenomenal, and I'm so glad that it got resolved. Like,
Yeah, they were really quick to take the image down, like within a few hours. It was like me putting the tweet up, and within 3 hours, the art was down off of the shop.
well, what company was it? It wasn't a video game company. It's a clothing company that has a history of stealing art assets or fan art and then putting them on shirts.
I mean, nowadays they have bots on Twitter who do it. If you, which is something I tell a lot of people, if you're ever admiring art on the internet, never ever ever comment on the art that you'd like it as a t-shirt, because
mm,
then bots will pick that up and put it on a t-shirt and sell it without that artist ever being involved.
well, there's like a brick and mortar store. Why am I blanking on it? I used to go to
Oh,
that
there's a
place.
couple. I mean, Aeropostale, Abercrombie and
Hot
Fitch,
Topic.
all of them have Hot Topic. I mean, all of them have been. Well, Hot Topic's different. I actually worked for Hot Topic for 2.5 years drawing art for them, and I did a lot of branded art that looks like fan art because that's exactly what it is. I'm a fan of those things, and they paid me to draw things of those licenses.
Huh.
Whether or not they actively have taken art off the internet and stolen it to resell it, I also wouldn't doubt it because it's a very large company and they make thousands of t-shirts a month, like new
Mm-hmm.
designs. So I 100% can see, just like what happened with the Fallout stuff, an artist who works for Hot Topic being lazy, picking art that they don't think will be found or noticed, altering it slightly, and then using it as their own. I can almost guarantee you that has happened. I obviously I am confident in saying I never did that. But it's funny you bring that up. I did from uh, 2021 to 2023, end of 2023. I was drawing for Hot Topic as well.
Hmm. Do you have a preferred piece of artwork that you worked on for Hot Topic? That if you can share, I mean,
Oh,
that
I
would
do.
be.
In fact, here I'll even share cooking. My I have a quite a few actually, but some of my favorite pieces that I did were of Studio Ghibli art.
Okay.
And it is actively art that that went to Studio Ghibli in Japan for approval and notes, and then back and forth. So technically, I have drawn officially for and with Studio Ghibli and things like that.
Nice.
Really, in this link that I sent you, any of the brands that you see here, any of the ones that are very clearly Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, things like that, I work directly with those companies to make these designs, even though they all got sold at Hot Topic in the end.
Oh wow, no kidding. And party people at home, there will be the link will be in the description.
And I will say this is a very small collection. I drew over 300 different designs for Hot Topic, and probably about 75 of them actually got printed.
Hmm.
But at the same time, they never ever sent me a link or list when things went up for sale. So I always had to
Mm.
search for myself. And even then, I stopped, obviously, after I stopped working there, I stopped looking. So even more could have been put up after the fact, and I just haven't seen them.
Just waiting for you to stop working there so they can just use it.
Well, no, I mean, everything I drew for them, they used. I mean, it was
Oh.
they purchased it outright. I don't have any ownership of it. They're paying me to draw this stuff for them. So it was never, like there was an ownership of the art on my end. If anything, that's one of the reasons why I'm happy to not no longer do things for Hot Topic at the moment, because I was doing some of my most detailed and some of my best work. I was drawing for a mega corporation making money off of it, and I was, wasn't even getting name recognition, let alone paid enough for how much they were making off of the art.
Well,
So
now you're here giving yourself recognition on a
a little bit.
vaguely watched talk show.
Exactly.
Hey man, at least I know where I am.
I got you. I got you, boss.
I so God, if I remember. Sorry, going back to your backyard builds.
Sure.
Uh, I one of the I was watching one years ago that always stuck with me, and I think I've applied it as well to my own. I painted my own mask, or masks plural. I have a box essentially of my own face, uh, which is hilarious to me to say out of context.
Hmm.
But um, there was it was the I think it was dry brushing on silver paint on black primed. Uh, what's the where I'm looking for? Why am I drawing a blank on so much today? Probably because I'm nervous. Uh,
No, no worries, boss.
water guns, like how to make them look like ray guns,
Sure.
and then like from there, there's another channel I found called Big Hush who makes custom masks, and I tried to like put the two together. Not very well, but I tried.
I've been there for sure.
Well, what got you into the backyard builds? Like what I get, building props for, your own videos and whatnot. But what started the like I should make a channel about this? Oh, still there?
Wanted a new host. So we auditioned as a
Okay.
group and got the job. So it wasn't a sense of me wanting to do it first, or it was me wanting to take the mantle of somebody who I admired and was inspired by. So that's how it went down, really.
And who was the host previous?
Eric Beck.
Hmm.
He was the original host and creator of the show Backyard FX.
Is is he working on anything now?
No, not that I, well, not in the sense of internet stuff like that. I do believe he moved on to direct. He was doing some documentary stuff and other things like that in quite a few years. But he uh, he didn't quit the internet. He just stopped doing prop stuff.
Just not on as often.
Yeah, I mean, we inevitably stopped doing background effects for the sort of the same reason. There was only so much you could do before you start repeating yourself when it comes to things you can make in the backyard. And this was before the era of 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of getting extremely detailed things via 3D printing for cheap was not part of the the workflow, was not part of the idea process, which it very much is now for prop builders. So, it's also the times have kind of changed in general. So whether a show like that can work. I mean, that's just it. While we were one of the first, Backyard Effects was one of the first shows to do
Mm-hmm.
that in a popular sense. Many more DIY creators have come since and have improved upon and done, leagues better work than we ever did. So I'm happy to see that how things kind of progress on the internet with stuff like that.
I'm I feel that as technology advances, at least in 3D printing, it's it's nice to see sort of the idea of being able to just make anything your mind can conjure up. But I also love the what's it called, the homemade look of using things around you to make a prop.
Right.
Like I believe there's a video that you made for backyard props that was like how to make the Evil Dead chainsaw hand. It was like a milk carton for the body of it.
have at
Oh,
home to build. So yeah, that was a huge part of backyard effect.
I. Oh, you still there? You cut out. Oh,
Can you hear me?
now I can. What the heck's going on?
I don't know. You've sounded fine this whole time, so
Weird.
not sure what's going on. It's not
Oh,
giving me any messages or warnings on my end.
says it on my end. My CPU's not overheating. My internet's working. What the
Hmm.
heck's going on?
I don't know.
I so for a minute there when you were describing your time working making art for a hot topic, I well, you mentioned you'd signed an NDA, or no, not an NDA with them, an NDA with Bethesda, and I
Yes.
had and I had a genuine moment of worry of like, oh shit, did you just violate the NDA by talking about it?
No, no, that's not a part of an NDA. That's a really weird confusion I've noticed when I talk about it on the internet. You can say you've signed an NDA. That is normal. There is never a part of an NDA that says you cannot tell people you signed an NDA. That
Hmm.
actually, if anything, defeats the purpose of signing an NDA. The whole point of an NDA is to tell people I cannot talk about that thing in detail. I cannot share details about it. So to say I've signed an NDA, there is absolutely
Oh,
NDA whatsoever. It really, I mean, it's just you can't disclose the information you know that you signed the NDA for. You know what I mean?
okay. So you can say like hey, I'm working for Bethesda
Yeah,
making
I'm
some
drawing. I mean,
stuff.
everything I've said is public knowledge already. So
Yeah.
nothing I'm telling you already on Twitter or anything like that. So it more just comes down to not talking about the details of what it's drawing. That is what the NDA is about. Because I'm drawing things for future updates. So if
Mm.
I mention anything that I'm drawing, that will in any way, in some way, spoil or put out there leak future content.
So what's with all these Vault Boy PNGs you've been sending me? What's that about? No, I'm
um, but really though, the it's I it all comes down to me just having fun drawing memes to begin with, and then they are apparently good enough for another artist to want to try to steal. So hey, I'll take it.
I mean, don't they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery?
To some degree, yeah. And then there's just straight up theft.
Yeah.
Big difference. But yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's done nothing but good things for me. It has not been a negative thing at all on, when it comes to how it affects me.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Start stealing from them right now.
Mm.
Go. No, I love purposely giving terrible advice. Well, well, Zach, it does look like we're closing in on the 25-minute mark. How you
Sorry about
feeling?
that. I'm doing good.
So you're still cutting out. I don't know why we're having such technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's weird because I hear you perfectly fine.
And like,
Interesting.
it's not my computer freezing up. Everything's still moving. It's just
It
something
just might
about
be
the
Discord. Discord itself
yeah.
might be wonky.
Thank you, Discord. Thank you very much for. Well, shoot. You did mention that you only had half an hour, so would you like to bring this interview to a close?
Only because I don't have a lot of time left.
Absolutely.
I'm having fun chatting. So if you do for something in the future, I'm always
Oh, damn it, you cut out again.
sorry, boss. Don't know
Something
what to
gone
say.
wrong. I gotta add some like extra tinfoil to my antenna or something.
If
But
you want to reschedule for a longer, non-interruptive interview, I'm down for it.
now it's funny you mention that because every time I end one of these interviews, I always ask the same question, and you've already answered it for me, which is, if asked, would you like to return as a return guest?
Yeah, I'm always down to talk about myself.
And I'm so I think the next time around, when and wherever that happens, I'm gonna also double down with some user or excuse me audience generated questions
Sure, I'm down for that.
because I know that I know some people that want to ask you some questions.
No, I'm always down for something like that.
But Zach, thank you so much for coming on, and hopefully it doesn't break up too much. But is there anything that you would like to promote before we get out of here?
Coming out November 16th, and follow me on Twitter and Twitch.
And do you have a video on your channel that you're fairly proud of that you'd like put on the end of this video?
Soon.
Sorry, you might have to repeat the whole thing cut out. All I heard was soon.
Yes, the trailer for Breaking, so you can see what's coming out soon.
Phenomenal. Well, with that, party people, please go check out the previous show, Nuka Break. I highly recommend it. I binge watched the whole thing just last week.
Watch it on any platform that's not on Wayside Creations or Wayside Digital. Watch a re-upload of it.
Oh, what's wrong with Wayside? Oh,
That will be what we talk about next time.
you know, I'm gonna make a note of that. But you know what, Zach? This has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you again for coming on. And party people at home, thank you for sticking around to the end. Please check out Zach's stuff in the description below. But with that, this has been Demasked. My name is Fresman, and I'll see all of you next time.